There are plenty of people online who say that they know what's happening behind the scenes at Hollywood. However, on this channel, we decided that it was a good idea to let you all know exactly what we know. And what do we mean by that? Well, there are the critics, of course, who claim that the WDW Pro channel is sort of a charlatan or a snake oil salesman, perhaps a liar or a fraud. And folks, we decided to put everything to the test. We've brought in two individuals to audit the channel. Over the last 12 months, our scoops, our leaks, our rumors have been collected in a playlist. And today we're examining the first batch of those to see how much did Pro get right, what is the accuracy, and can you trust this channel to continue explaining entertainment and putting you ahead of the culture curve. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the WDW Pro channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment and indeed keep you ahead of the culture curve. And that is what we are grading today, is in fact the ability of yours truly to keep you ahead of said culture curve. We're going to be looking at the year 2023. There have been so many scoops, rumors, and leaks that we have covered on this channel over the past year that we're going to have to take this in 4 parts. And so today we're going to go with the first quarter of 2023, and we're going to find out, is Pro a fraud? Is he a liar? Is he a snake oil salesman? We're going to find out. And I have brought in Culture Casino and Lauren Connor because I think that they are two of the most honest people you'll find on YouTube, and they are going to independently audit me. I am only here to walk us through, but I submit myself to the jury of 2 which sit above me. So folks, we're not saying that every channel out there must do this or should do this, but we thought that this would be an interesting sort of retrospective on the channel to see how we performed over the year. Let's get straight into it. All right, so we are going to begin with Harry Potter reboot incoming. Here's what we know. This came along also with another similar video that came out on day 1 of this channel. Harry Potter reboot, the future of a divided franchise. Gentlemen, did we get this one, or did this not come to pass in 2023? Was Harry Potter indeed rebooted?
Yep, it has been announced, and they are moving forward with the project, so I'd say you definitely got this one correct.
And I would also suggest that they have actually confirmed they would be doing more than one part of this reboot. So I would say that you were doubly right.
All right, and I'm going to keep a tally on this. So thus far of the scoops that we've got 1 in the yes category. Also coming out on day 1 of this channel, we said Nintendo to launch NCU. That's the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Zelda coming, Pro leak confirmed. So, and this is in the description, it says Nintendo and partners appear to be launching a Nintendo Cinematic Universe using the Mario Brothers movie as the starting point. Gentlemen, what's our say on this one? What happened?
It indeed came to pass. In fact, it had already been in progress, I think, when you announced this, unbeknownst to many.
Lauren, any counter to that?
I would agree, although it's not taking the form quite that I thought that it was going to. The fact that Zelda is going to be live action, I think, was a bit of a surprise.
I agree 100%, and I think had the strikes not lasted as long as they had, we might be seeing something different. I also think that it probably won't be long before we get some more information on some of those additional Nintendo movies, so we'll see how that goes. Now, one that might surprise some people is that we actually called King of the Hill reboot 1-week anniversary celebration, and this one actually looks like a confirmation when it says, put another feather in the cap, another rumor from WDW Pro that comes true, and this was the confirmation that indeed King of the Hill was coming, and also that it was coming to Hulu, which there's a little bit of a caveat on this one, guys, and that is that, yes, this did come true, but then we had the unfortunate passing of one of the voice actors, and we don't know what they're going to do with that. We anticipate that they're recasting. I haven't followed up to see if that's the case. Have you guys heard anything else about King of the Hill on Hulu and what they're doing with that?
Nope, not a word, not a peep.
Yep, haven't heard anything either.
It's a real shame that the voice actor who plays Dale Gribble passed away, and we hate that. We hate that for his fans. We especially hate it for his friends and family, and wish everybody well with that situation. No good at all in that. Then we get into this one, and this I think is going to be our first one that's not cut and dry. Zelda expansion for Epic Universe. Could it happen? Now, this is a rumor / leak / scoop about something that obviously has not happened yet. Culture, Lauren, what have you guys heard in regards to this? Should we put this in the indefinite category, or is it in the yes category? What do you guys think?
I think that I'm not as up on this rumor as some of the others. They have made some tentative announcements, haven't they?
Well, they've made some announcements, but not necessarily that Zelda is going to be in Epic Universe. Culture, what have you heard?
I would put the pause on this one, Pro, because I still think there's plenty of room left in Epic Universe for massive expansion. And even a fourth theme park seems like something that could happen as well.
Well, I'm going to be more harsh with myself because I think that what has happened since this came out is that they have decided to move the Zelda expansion to Islands of Adventure, and I think it's going to go in the Lost Continent section now. Now, that also has not been publicly announced yet, but I anticipate that's what's going to happen. I don't think Zelda's going to Epic Universe. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm just going to put this in the Pro was wrong category. I mean, I'm not totally wrong. It's going to come to a Universal Studios park, but it's not Epic Universe.
Okay, but I have a feeling we'll have to revisit this subject in a year and a half or so.
Well, you guys have the ability to veto me. If you want to put it in the indefinite category, it's okay. What would you guys like to do?
I have not heard one way or another. Rumor was all the way back in April that the Islands of Adventure would be a location for a potential Zelda theme park attraction. But again, they have ample room to expand at Epic Universe. If you elect to put it in the no category, I'm not going to fight you on it.
All right, well, let's be exceedingly careful and put it in the no category for now.
Sounds good.
All right, moving on. Okay, this is going to be one, folks, that is funny.
The highest.
All right. This one, let me just read the title. Pablo Hidalgo out, Lucasfilm Story Group over, the Pasha rumor examined. This technically lands in the rumor and leaks category, but it's not my rumor and it's not my leak. This was a Kamran Pasha, and we explained that rumor to the audience, and we said, that we would be watching this carefully because it was a major claim, and so I think we know what's happened there. I don't think we need to dwell on this. Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't think much needs to really be said. It's Pablo is still there, and so that's where it's at.
And
right,
so
this is not ours. So
yeah, and so is the story group. So so far, this is not anything.
Right. All right. So going, and by the way, in the I did it again. In the next year, I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a differentiation between rumors that I am bringing forth and rumors that we're covering from other people. This next one is Zelda movie exclusive information from a close source, and this is where we broke the news that a Zelda movie was in development. Guys, has that come to fruition now?
Yes, sir. It is in development.
All right, putting it in the yes category. All right, next up, we have, I'm going to try not to. Happy Monday. All right, so the Kenobi Crisis, Luke versus Leia, Pablo Hidalgo files, number 1. This says, the description of this one says, the first of a series of videos based upon the dialogue held on Twitter between That Park Place writers and Lucasfilm Story Group member Pablo Hidalgo. Today, Pro and Lauren Connor, maybe this is not such an independent audit now, look at a claim by Mr. Hidalgo about the development of the Kenobi series. So this was a rumor from Pablo Hidalgo. It's not one that came from us. So I don't think we should judge this one, if that's okay. Now, let's go to latest SEC. Here's one that I think is very pertinent today. So this one came out January 17th, and it says a huge proxy war is playing out at the Walt Disney Company with an SEC filing. It's all coming out in the open. At stake, politics, ESG, legacies, egos, and more. And this was our scoop that Nelson Peltz was going to be waging a war against Bob Iger. Guys, I think this is a very solid yes. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and twice over now.
All right. And then this is probably one of the biggest early scoops we had. Of course, getting the Harry Potter reboot going, but also we got Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter in the Balance. Here's what the description says. This is from January 18th. Industry insiders say Warner Brothers Discovery is using Hogwarts Legacy as a barometer for what they can do with the mainline parts of the franchise. Can they overcome the backlash to J.K. Rowling? Can they mend fences and unite at least the sensible center of their demographics? And so this was about the fact that Warner Brothers was using how Hogwarts Legacy, the video game, performed in order to decide how they were going to go forward with rebooting. I think this is clearly obvious now that that game was very successful, and Warner Brothers said, yes, please, we'd like more of that. Any disagreements there?
Yeah, I think that's fair. So I think you'd have to put that in the yes category.
Yeah, yes plus, right? Because, I mean, that game went gangbusters. I have it on my computer. So, yeah.
All right, we go to our
You
next
could have
one.
had it all.
This is from, let's see what the date is on this one. Just says 10 months ago. Wish it would tell us the exact date every time. Maybe I'm missing it somewhere. The fall of Chapek, 3 sins that cost him the Disney throne. Following SEC reports from the Walt Disney Company as they battle Nelson Peltz and Tryon, we now have a fairly strong understanding of what cost former CEO Bob Chapek his job. Robert Iger was gunning for him from the get-go, but it was 3 errors by Chapek that allowed people like Christine McCarthy and organizations like Walkout Disney to take him down. By the way, we haven't talked about Walkout Disney in a long time on this channel. That really is an error on our part because that was the shadow campaign, we believe, that Iger used to drive the wedge between Chapek and the rest of the company. So, guys, I'm not sure that this one, though, I'm not sure that this one was looking into the future so much. I'll leave it up to you. I don't know how we would grade this
think it was
a retrospect.
I think it was just the declarative things that happened to lead him to lose his job. So I'm not sure this would fall under rumors, etc.
I'm not sure that you could call it either way anyway. I'm of the opinion that no matter what happened, Chapek was going to be gone. Iger could not stand not being in control, so I don't know that 3 sins had anything to do with it.
All right, we go to then
Me?
Disney board chaos. Breaking news on BlackRock allegedly blocking Peltz. Guys, this was where we scooped that we believe the institutional investors were going to try to stop Peltz from getting a seat on the board. Of course, very early compared to when he made the attempt, and we know the results of that from the first proxy battle. Which category or which did we win, lose, or is this indefinite?
Oh, no, I think that you and Mike both nailed this. I don't know, Lauren, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, even for the new proxy battle that's being waged, they're trying to utilize all kinds of parliamentary tricks to try and prevent that from going forward. And so,
right, and this, by the way, this is way before they, took away board seats and all that kind of stuff. Everything they had to stop him. So, all right, we'll drop it in the yes category, and we're moving right along. Let's see. Next up, we have, this is an interesting one.
There's a new
All right, so Iger visits Disney World, new projects ahead. It says, returning Walt Disney Company CEO Robert Iger visited Disney World Resort this past week. He looked at many sites with Disney Parks boss Josh D'Amaro, as well as Disney World VP Vail. But was this more than a photo op for a leader wanting to seem in charge? Pro breaks down the places the top brass visited and what it might mean for future projects. Now, here's the fascinating thing about this. Iger did indeed visit many of these places, and we did indeed get many announcements later on about what they would like to do at Disney World. The problem is I don't believe any of those are real, so I don't know how you guys are going to grade this. I leave it up to you, though. But in my opinion, all they want to do is give us blue sky nonsense and hold us over. But you guys tell me, does that qualify as new projects ahead, or is that a bunch of malarkey?
Well, I mean, the projects were announced. Whether they happen or not is an entirely other conversation. But I don't know, Lauren. I think you nailed this one because he did come out and give us a bunch of blue sky garbage.
Right. I don't believe for a second we're getting beyond Big Thunder Mountain.
I think I'd put it in the no category just because To my mind, it was a PR stunt to show, look, the boss is back in charge. Yes, they may have made a bunch of announcements, but I think that since he has come back in and has radically tried to restructure the company, I don't think they really have anything that they're really solid on producing. They're trying to keep investors happy by making it sound like they're busy and productive while they're trying to plug all the holes in the ship and somehow keep it afloat.
All right, I think that's fair as well. So let me drop that into the no category. That's our second failed prediction. And let's go to our next one here. The next one we have is that Storm would be coming to the MCU, Wakanda's new main hero. And this says, put another kudos coin in the tip jar. The exclusive leak given months ago about Storm coming to the MCU to save Wakanda is coming to fruition. And it's not just Storm being deployed by Marvel. They're bringing Bishop along for the ride. In the end, it's all about merchandising, though. And it has links to where this was confirmed. And so that, in my opinion, still stands. This was talking about a rumor that I had covered on That Park Place prior to the existence of the channel. Guys, do we want to just leave this alone since that was a confirmation and not an actual scoop for the year?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough, I think. All right. Now this one, Skyrim is Battle for Skyrim, Netflix versus Paramount. And this one I don't think is necessarily a scoop. This was covering a bunch of different rumors regarding Skyrim and which streaming service would be able to bring it to their platform and if they would. So not one where we covered it here, making a declaration one way or the other. So we'll move on from that one. Now we get into
Origins.
Identity Wars, how Kathleen Kennedy used Star Wars to fight a culture battle. It says, Daisy Ridley may be returning to the role of Rey Skywalker if rumors are to be believed. The Walt Disney Company is looking for some way to reinvigorate interest in the sequel trilogy, but it seems the flaws go far beyond just relevance. And so this was the very beginning. We had done, I don't remember exactly when we revealed with Echo Base Network on the channel. Lauren, you were on that exact same video. That may be under the Pro Show. I'm not sure any longer. But this
I think it was April, but don't quote me on that.
Right. So this is right around the time when we're talking about the idea that Rey is going to be returning to Star Wars. Guys, did we get that one in terms of Rey returning to the role, or Daisy Ridley returning as the role?
Yes.
I'm going to have to give this a no.
What?
How so,
no.
Lauren? Explain this one.
Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars.
Okay, Lord.
You win the video, Lord.
There, but as far as Rey returning, that is accurate.
All right. Let's keep going. Thank you, Lauren. That was great. We've got next up, rumors, injury. Phoebe flees Indy. Phoebe Waller-Bridge goes to Tomb Raider next. Indiana Jones 5, truly the end. Of course, this came out many months before Indiana Jones 5 had released. And I would say, well, I'll just hand it to you guys. What do you think? I mean, is Phoebe Waller-Bridge going to Tomb Raider, and is Indy 5 really the end?
Yes, it is very much the end. Sorry, Indy's done. His goose is cooked.
No TV. But Lauren, remember at this time, a lot of people were saying that there was going to be a TV show that was coming to Disney Plus, and we were going to get video games and all of that.
Even if that were the case, that's the harbinger of doom for anything that they're producing. Anything that they put on Disney Plus is just sinking the property. Stop it.
And while I agree, it's my turn to say there are only 3 Indiana Jones films.
Yes, well played on that as well. I cannot argue there. It was already done.
But truly, Phoebe did flee for a Tomb Raider event. So we'll have to see how that turns out.
The holidays are
all right. Next up on the list, Disney Under Siege. Polls show Disney's favorability has collapsed as Peltz and DeSantis rock Iger. And here's what I would say on this one. I'll look at the. Let me read the description. This is shaping up to be one colossal week for Disney forthcoming. At the same time, Robert Iger looks to make cuts and calm the storms around Disney. His biggest adversaries are attacking at the same time. Nelson Peltz looks to blow up the connections between Disney and China, unraveling geopolitical connections and corruption at the highest levels. Meanwhile, DeSantis is convening an effort to strip Disney World of its self-governance powers on the same week Iger speaks to investors. At the time that this video came out, this is important context. At the time this video came out, there were, let's just say, the vast majority of Disney websites were calling this absolute nonsense on both sides of this. And we were out here saying, no, they're under siege. This is a very big deal. Guys, have we covered that aspect of Disney correctly or incorrectly?
Absolutely correctly.
Yeah, this is one I think we all nailed. There was this is out there, this was 10 months ago. This was February news. So.
That's right. And I would say, folks, that if you've been following some of those other sites that played this off and said this is a bunch of, far right craziness and none of this was ever going to happen, and Florida was too small compared to Disney. They didn't have the right stuff. They didn't have the smart stuff. I mean, this is not going in Disney's favor. It never was. It never will. And that brings us to, this is the big one. This is the one where we had Echo-based network on. And here's what we've got, guys. Let's read this. Star Wars future finally revealed. The rumored next saga begins after the sequel trilogy. And this is the one where you, Lauren, and Echo-based network were there. And we announced there exclusively that Daisy Ridley would be coming to Star Wars Celebration and that there would be the announcement of the Rey movie. And we talked about, at the time, the survey that they had been doing with... I'm trying to remember what my sources... I'm trying to remember... I don't want to say something that I was not supposed to say, and I can't remember exactly. Industry insiders, I'll stick with that. Industry insiders who'd been running market research. They had been doing surveys, and that was having a role in how they were going to pick the characters for the movie. Guys, to me, this was a major win for the channel. This was one of the first times that I think people really paid attention that we had some great sources. And by the way, as we're going through this, please, folks, don't think, Pro has this amazing ability for prognostication or, telling the future. We have awesome sources, and we are so thankful for each and every one of them. To the individual who gave us this rumor, by the way, this scoop, he knows who he is. Thank you. I mean, just thank you for this one. So, guys, is that a win-win?
I think I'm going to call it a partial, believe it or not, only because the Rey movie is happening. Obviously, that's going to happen. But
and we got the announcement at Celebration.
Yeah, but I suspect that the structure has changed. I'm not
convinced
that they're going to continue to have the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda and all of that involved. My guess is that some of that has probably shifted.
Well, at the time, to go into that, at the time, what we reported was that there was likely to be a character that we were going to be introduced to from the Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian himself, and that we would have Baby Yoda, Chewbacca, R2, and another character, and I can't think of who the other character was right now, but maybe you remember Lauren. But now that Dave Filoni is essentially in charge, I don't think that's... I think that has definitely changed because I think Dave Filoni will want to put his characters in there. That's just my hunch. I don't have anything more than that to say on it, but that's my hunch. Any more thoughts, guys, before we move along?
If we get another Ahsoka insert in this, it'll be tragic.
True that. But I think we will. All right, here we go. Next up, Universal Studios Europe exclusive. Disneyland Paris about to face a huge new competitor. This was also exclusively revealed on the channel. Guys, is this confirmed now?
Yes, it is. Yeah, times 2.
And Culture, how did this get confirmed? Because this is actually not too long ago that this was confirmed.
Oh my goodness! Less than 2 weeks ago, I think we talked about the fact that they were looking at Spain and another location for expansion, and they had already started to move forward on it. So this is actually going to happen.
That's right, and we got this out of International Patents, is where we got the actual confirmation finally. Otherwise, if that hadn't happened, we'd be stuck in a situation right now where I'd say, put it in an indefinite category. But luckily,
quality sleuthing, and props to Vash Sky, our buddy, who also pointed out
Theme Park Wizard.
Yeah, Theme Park Wizard, who pointed out that the person that originally did this location scouting for Disney parks and developments and everything else told them specifically to go, instead of going to France, to go to Spain in that exact area where Universal is going to be putting their park.
That's right. Exactly. All right, let's go to the next one. This is one that really matters today. Warner Brothers DC and Harry Potter for sale. James Gunn may have a secret slate of DC movies ready. And this is where I went into great detail about the idea that the reason they've structured the new DC movies in the way they have is because Warner Brothers Discovery itself may be for sale. And that may be the effort, is to sell it. Guys, we've seen articles that have come out recently all about the idea that Warner Brothers Discovery is going bankrupt. My situation, my thought on this is that no, this is a company being set up to be sold. It's not going bankrupt. It's being operated in a different way than you would if you were trying to grow a company. That said, I don't think that this has been confirmed yet, clearly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would probably call this indeterminate. I agree with you that they are likely baiting hooks, but I also think that if they suddenly did produce some movies that were solid hits, that some of that might change. Now, I think that they probably intend to sell, and I think that's where some of these stories are coming from. But I don't think that it's one that we can call yet because we just don't know what's happening.
And I'm with Lauren. I don't think we can call this yet, although I had been hearing from people that I know that DC could be jettisoned in its entirety for quite a pretty penny. Yep. So I'm going to stick with the indeterminate nature.
Okay. I'm good with that as well. Our next video, it's been a huge week for exclusive. These crazy videos.
It wasn't ignorance, it was intentional.
All right, so this next one was the Kamran Pasha interview. And I'm assuming that it's in the rumors and leaks category because he may have talked about rumors and leaks in the interview, but those would not have come from myself. So I say we leave this one alone as well, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, if it doesn't come from you or somebody at that park place, it's not really a thing.
Explaining entertainment. Splash Mountain destroyed, historical items shredded with glee by Imagineers who brag of destruction. And so this came to us from someone who said that they had witnessed this or had been told directly by someone who did this. So I don't know how we would confirm this separately other than what my sources said. So you guys decide what you want to do with this one. What should we do with one where the rumor is something that we still couldn't corroborate, but also seems to fit in with the attitude of Disney?
If this were Mythbusters, you'd call this plausible.
Yes.
Oh, should I create a new one?
In this case, I think you have to put it in the indeterminate category. If somebody did come through with some kind of documentary evidence, then we could prove it. But right now, we don't know. I just think that it's plausible.
I'm going to suggest that there will be photographic imagery that will make its way on the internet at some point in time.
All right, folks, you heard it. If you've got photos and if it's ethical and legal and you have every right to those photos, if you want to share them out, have at it. All right, let's see here. We've got Indiana Jones gets Jake Skywalkered. Director James Mangold says film will see Indy retooled. And what we said is that, according to our sources and what James Mangold was saying and what everything we were hearing, that Indiana Jones was not going to be the hero that we were used to, that he was going to be a weak, frumpy, dumpy old man. Guys?
Well, you saw the movie.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm not auditing myself. You got to tell me.
Yes, he was terrible. He was Jake Skywalker. Moreover, it could have been much worse based on what we're hearing now. So it could have been way worse. I don't know, Lauren, what do you think?
Well, I to this point have still not seen the movie. I don't intend to see the movie, but I've heard enough from people who have seen the movie to say, yeah, you got this right.
I don't blame you for not watching it at all, Lauren. All right, going to the next one, we have Disney Plus cuts content. Marvel and Lucasfilm slash budgets for MCU and Star Wars as company scrambles. From what I understand, well, I won't say anything. Guys, have we had confirmation of this?
I think in the last 2 months, actually, a couple of different stories have come out about both the MCU and Star Wars, and it was recently backed up in Iger's own words.
That's what I was going to say. Iger has confirmed this now talking about cutting content drastically. So,
Yep.
All right, put it in the yes category and moving right along, as Kermit would say. All right, here's going to be one that
Hello and happy day.
I'll see what you guys say. Lauren, you were there. Coach was there.
Look at that handsome guy right there.
Yeah, look at those guys. Okay.
Oh.
And Michelle. So Favreau fallout, Baby Yoda and Rey to appear together. Lucasfilm's brightest addresses major rumor. And so this was talking about, again, what I had heard, but we don't know what's going to happen. I would say it's far less likely today than it was then, due to the change in writers and due to the change in the title that Dave Filoni holds at Lucasfilm. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see a real plausible path forward for Din and Grogu right now. They sort of left him at his happy ending at the end of the apocryphal season 3. So
yeah. I'm happy to put this in the no category if you guys are okay with that.
I would say indeterminate because I still believe Baby Yoda is going to show up in that Rey film.
Lauren, you're the tiebreaker. I say no. Culture says indefinite. What do you say?
I'd say put it in indeterminate because anything can happen, and they are desperate to make some kind of money somewhere. And the only thing that they've had that's been successful thus far is Baby Yoda. So never say never.
All right. Next up, we have Universal Studios Europe leak. Possible early concept art is quickly reframed. Now, I'm just going to say that this seems to confirm the Universal Studios Europe that we've talked about again. It's the same rumor, so I don't think we need to score it. And we actually made this one be private. This is not available. It's the only time we've ever done this. And that was because of what would you say? It was because we were attempting to take care of an artist. So
yes,
we're not going to play the video, but
an identifying thing.
Exactly. It's the only time we've done it, and it's exceedingly rare that we will do that we'll private a video, but in that case, we felt it was the right thing to do. The Darksaber Theory, amazing Star Wars saga that could have been, Favreau and Filoni's secret plan. Lauren, this was one where you and I talked about what could have been, but I don't know that it's a rumor that was looking into the future. Fair to say?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Who would have ever thought?
And then we have Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau battle for Baby Yoda, Rey and Grogu focus of Star Wars future. This is probably going to land in the indefinite category at this point. Well, let me explain what this was about. If they use Baby Yoda or Grogu in a movie, it actually has some financial implications for the way that Jon Favreau's contract is structured, we believe. And so that's what we were discussing at that time. I think as time goes on, that's going to become less of a concern because I don't know what they're going to do with Jon Favreau's contract with his Gollum creations. So what do you guys want to do with this one?
I'd call it plausible again, but, I don't know that we have a way to call it.
Indeterminate.
Right, and it's kind of hard even to classify it, period. All right, this was Victory Lap.
Platinum Plus. I load.
Harry Potter Reimagined, WDW Pro Scoop confirmed after only 8 weeks. So this was the Victory Lap where we said, not only is it going to be rebooted, they're going to recast the kids. All right, then we have Shrek 5 in the works. While Disney struggles to turn a profit with animated films, others rise. This was us coming out and saying that we believed that Shrek 5 was going to be put into production and that the Shrek franchise was going to be rebooted. Gentlemen, did that come true or not?
I don't know that I've heard anything on this one, so I'm not sure. I'd have to defer to both of you for an answer to that question.
Well, supposedly it's due for release in 2025, but the only source that's reported anything on it recently has been Dexerto.
So here's what I've got, and let me see. You're right, Culture. That's out of Dexerto. Says what I've got on that is in an interview earlier this year, Illumination CEO Chris Meledandri confirmed a 5th movie with the original cast was in the works, but there is no confirmation as to when it will begin production or release. That out of Dexerto. Is that sufficient for you guys that we should confirm it, or do you think we would need more sources?
I think you have plenty of confirmation in the reporting itself, but beyond that, I think if you have somebody that's an executive for a company saying that they're moving forward on it. I think we have to take their word for it.
Okay. Lauren, any objection?
I think that I would call this I'd probably go for a no. It's like people say that things are moving forward and in development all the time, and oftentimes those plans fall apart. Based on a single source, I don't know that I'm confident in that one. So I would probably call it a no.
Well, how about this? You guys tell me if this is okay with you. So Culture is saying that it's a yes. Lauren, you're saying it's a no. I think in that situation it lands an indefinite since we have a disagreement. Is that okay with the auditors?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay, indefinite it is. Moving right along. The next one is the woman behind Marvel's collapse, Victoria Alonso, the MCU mantle queen whose strategy stinks. And this is where we had a source inside the toy industry who gave us significant information about how the mantle strategy works, where they swap the powers and the characteristics of the heroes and why they were doing it and all of that. This later on, it seems to me, was confirmed in the stuff that we got out of the book that was released about Marvel. And I can't think of her name right now. Valiant Renegade would know it. He'd know it right off the top of his head. Culture, do you remember the woman's name who did the tell-all book on Marvel?
I do not. That's one of those names that will not stick in the cabeza. So
do you think we have the mantle strategy now confirmed, though? That was a real thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Lauren, any objection to that one?
No, not at all.
Okay. Moving to the next one then.
Also, her name was Joanna Robinson.
Well done, Lauren.
All right. This is one that's going to be contentious for some people out there, but it's in the list. Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars retirement celebration. Kamran Pasha claims Sparrow has massive scoop. This is the one where we came out and had the disagreement. We're not trying to be mean or have a spat with Kamran, but we came out and said, this is not what our sources are saying. They're saying something totally different. But we were also kind, I think, and generous in saying, if Kamran has this, we'll happily give him all the credit when this is over. But that did not come to pass, of course. And so our sources, unfortunately, were correct in this case. Guys, any thoughts?
No, she's very much still there.
She's still there. She's like the two guys, the two Muppets at Muppet Vision 3D, where they're what do they say? We're nailed to the floor. Statler and Waldorf. That's the two characters up there. There's a joke at the end of Muppet Vision 3D that
bolted to the floor.
Bolted to the floor. That's right. Bolted to the floor. Yeah. All right. Now this is another one that it's a bit subjective. Dave Filoni praises Rian Johnson. Star Wars doomed. Fans fear all roads lead to the sequel trilogy. This is where we broke the story. I don't know if we broke it, but we brought it to major attention that Rian Johnson is Dave Filoni is a big Rian Johnson fan. They talk often, and that we believed that Dave Filoni was not going to retcon anything to do with the sequel trilogy, and that's where we were headed, was to confirming the sequel trilogy and justifying it. Guys, is that what we've now seen post Ahsoka?
Yeah, but both parts of it are confirmed. Yeah, I don't know that Dave is as big a fanboy as it's made to sound. I think that he diplomatically praises him because he's asked, but Star Wars is doomed. So, I mean, I think both parts are true.
All right. Moving on. Pixar and Disney fear John Lasseter. Exclusive scoop on Apple and Skydance's new aggressive strategy. Now, this one is going to be tough to grade because a major change happened later on, and that is that Skydance and their exclusive contract with Apple was handed off to Netflix. And now, for all intents and purposes, John Lasseter works for Netflix. So I don't know what you guys want to say about that. You know, we could play around with this and say, well, Disney now fears Netflix even more. Or we could say, well, you know, Pro, you said that Disney feared Apple. So which way do you guys want to do it? Or just toss it?
What do you think, Culture?
Skydance has certainly been rather aggressive. They've recently switched alliances with studios. Goodness. I don't know. I can't call this either way.
Okay, so then the question is, do we put it in indefinite or do we toss it? Because
I don't think there's a way to confirm it.
right, because this now exists in an alternate universe where it wasn't sold eventually.
Right.
I think it's fair to say that Disney probably does fear John Lasseter, though.
Oh, they certainly do. They don't have any
More now
creative.
than back then, too, I would say, after Wish. How could you not?
Yeah, I mean that certainly is true. It's difficult. Because Lasseter again is one of the last remaining storytellers of quality. I actually have a video coming out on that this week, and perhaps a segment on that Park Place. But there aren't a lot of creatives left at Disney, so I would imagine they'd be quite fearful of somebody of his repute.
And I feel like Disney is especially sensitive to being shown up by former employees. They don't want it public that they've lost a bunch of these people and that's where the magic was. So I'd actually be inclined to call this one confirmed.
They're going to hate Epic Universe a lot then.
All right. Confirming it because you guys said to. We've got about 4 more, guys, before we wrap up for today in our first part of the audit. Let's see how this goes.
Year after year.
And I hit the wrong button. No.
Arm & Hammer is real popular, by the way.
Exclusive Lucasfilm lawsuit exposed was Kathleen Kennedy's The Acolyte, rotten from the start. And this is the one where we said that The Acolyte is real and that they're really going to make it.
Yes.
This generated a lot of hate for this channel when we came out and said this, but that's the way that this is what we discovered in our investigations. Jonas Campbell did a lot of work in this area. All credit goes to him. Made some big time contacts with people, and we discovered that it was confirmed this was a big budget production going forward. So,
well, and consider this. This was also the time when Karen McCarthy was revealed to have been wronged.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Well, and what we discovered was that the Karen McCarthy lawsuit actually revealed, plus along with tax filings, that the Acolyte was the real deal in terms of a lot of money being spent, and it was not a charade. So
yeah.
All right. Drop it in the yes category. Just a few more left to go, folks. Here's what we've got. Tiger abandons. Go ahead.
I hope you're keeping a tally, Pro, because I haven't written anything down.
Iger abandons the Disney Plus strategy. Variety article indicates the Disney CEO cedes to Netflix. All right, so do you guys think that at this point Iger has ceded the lead to Netflix, and have they abandoned? Remember I guess we need to explain this. The original Disney Plus strategy that was formulated under Chapek actually was that they were going to hit these massive numbers by 2024, and that Disney could actually give Netflix a run for its money. Now, what do you guys think?
I don't think there's any way they give Netflix a run for their money, but I also don't know that I'd say that they've abandoned the strategy of at least trying to make it appear that they're hitting profitability by 2024. That's one point they've never budged on. They are trying to slow down productions and canceling some things behind the scenes, which shows that they don't have a lot of confidence in what they're producing. But I think that they're trying to fudge the numbers to make it look like it's a positive thing.
Well, Culture, what I was trying to, and there's no way for me to find it this quick, but it seems to me I remember that Disney in one of their earnings reports declared that they were pulling back some of those milestone numbers that they were anticipating. Am I right on that? Do you remember that, or am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I think that was the quarterly report right after Iger got reinstated. It was definitely post that initial town hall.
This would be too late then to fit with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I mean Iger had mentioned that they were slowing down on content. I think it's the third time that he's done it. Most recently, he talked about it in that DealBook Summit.
Right.
But I can't place it, Pro. I'm sorry.
Neither can I. So
yeah, and I'm not even sure if there's a way to confirm a whole lot of this, including the variety aspect of it. So I'm not sure
let's put it in the. Well, I don't want to say, but are both of you okay with the indefinite category?
Yeah, or just irrelevant at this point, to be fair.
Okay. All right, let's go to, we've got 3 more here. The next one is Disney World scared of Epic Universe, top theme park resort in the world fears Universal Studios. And what this began to say was that we were now looking at the potential for Epic Universe to become the biggest theme park in Central Florida, that it could actually overtake Magic Kingdom. Now, that's a prediction that we're not yet to the point where we can answer that. So if you guys are okay with indefinite.
Yeah, this is indeterminate because you're right. It hasn't opened yet. I do know that this will take such a large chunk of market share from Disney that they're trembling. And I also know that to be true.
Yeah, I think if you're scoring it based on are they scared of it, then I think that's absolutely a yes.
Now, well, let's say this. Let's come back to this one in 2025, folks. You'll have to remind us.
Or the end of next year. I'm going to say the end of next year.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see. But next year or 2025, we should be able to either confirm or deny this one. Then we have,
for the first time in forever, Disney World is
excellent. Let's see.
You have such a great voice, bro.
Why? Thank you so much. There we go. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, this crazy
For the first time in forever.
For the first time in forever. I'm just going to wait. There we go. Disney doubles down on divisive direction. Iger selects ESPN DEI leader for company HR executive. This is where we made the declaration that Disney was going to double down on DEI. They were not going to stop. They were going to push even farther. This flew in the face of so many people because this also came on the heels of Iger saying that they were going to lower the noise. And we came out right after he said they're going to lower the noise and said, no, this is what's happening. This is actually what's happening in the hiring practices. They are going full steam ahead. They just don't want you to know about it. So, guys, did that turn out to be true or false?
Yes.
Yeah, it was true, but now they're being punished for it, and I think they might actually be really thinking about it now. So
that's right. And then we come to the final one that we've got for the first quarter of the year. The Mandalorian crashes as Disney Plus tanks season 3 debut sees audience cut in half. This was before Nielsen came out. So this was us talking about what we had heard from people connected behind the scenes who had potentially seen what the ratings were going to be like. And I don't remember now exactly what the result was in terms of the ratings for the season 3 opener versus the season 2 opener, but I know it wasn't good. But I don't remember if it was half or worse. Maybe you guys do, but let me know which way does this one go? Is it the yes category or the no category?
It's a yes. I think that it started off badly and it got worse as it went along.
Culture, any pushback on that one?
No, in fact, I'm pretty sure that when Nielsen got to the premiere, it was they put the numbers together for the February 27th through March 5th. There were only 823 million minutes viewed in that period of time.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's review the tally quickly, guys. I know this video has went on for a long time, but we think this is important that we hold ourselves accountable. And that's why we're doing this. We're going to do this 3 more times. There'll be 3 more parts of this. If you guys can stand it, you may say, "Pro, this goes on too long. We're going to fix this." I don't know. We'll revisit. Folks in the comments, let us know. Did you enjoy this going this long? Did you appreciate it being this thorough, or do you want it to be more in the area of brevity? Perhaps you say, "No, we want you guys to go even longer." I don't know. But here's the tally. Lauren, you're great at math, I believe. So you run these numbers for me really quick. We've got 20 confirmations in the first quarter. We had 2 that did not come true. We had 4 that are indefinite, so we still don't know, and 2 that are plausible. So 20 versus 2 as far as yes versus no. So if we want to, that's pretty simple, of course. That's we've got 10 times more that we got right versus things that did not happen. And then there's some, 5 to 7 that are either still out there or difficult to confirm. So I guess we don't need the calculator as much as I thought, Lauren. What did you pull? Did you pull up any kind of interesting number there that we should know about?
No, I started to calculate, but then I kind of got lost as I was trying to listen to what you were saying. I know you had 10 and 20%. I didn't hear what the indeterminate was, but I think all the indeterminates that we pointed out are fair and still up for debate. If you're talking about a 10% failure rate, that's 90% accurate. If you're setting the other ones aside, if you're not setting them aside, it's still going to be, I think 70%. Am I right there? Or
so if we've got 20 that are right and 2 that are wrong, and those are the ones that we can absolutely confirm right now, what's the accuracy rating for the first quarter of the year?
90%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll take 90%. That's not as good as I have done in the past, but we'll see how it pans out for the rest of the year as we come back to this video series next week. So folks, be paying attention. We'll close in, but 90% accuracy on scoops and rumors with some out there that we don't know yet, and we'll find out if those come true as well, and we'll update as we go on. Gentlemen, thank you for being here and hanging with me. This was a very long discussion, but I think it's worthwhile. Culture, tell us what you've got coming up on your channel, and what can folks expect over the next week?
Well, like you, I'm going to be, you've already done yours, but I'll be releasing a Wonka review so people can decide whether or not they want to see something. Because
Culture, have you already seen Wonka?
I was going to, but my computer got in the way, so hopefully tomorrow will be the day.
Yes.
But I'll have that coming out. I also have 2 videos already in the can, ready to go for release next week, and I'm working on some That Park Place segments. So there's a lot coming out this week.
Fantastic, Lauren. Should we expect any more readings before before Christmas lands?
It may be tricky. I've had to take a pause because we're right in the middle of the holiday season, and I am vastly overbooked for everything that I'm trying to do. However, immediately after we conclude this recording, I'm going to be joining Tommy Tables and Lou Wasserman's Ghost. We're doing another Genre Guys video covering The Sting, and so I'm looking forward to that.
And I want to thank you, Lauren, and of course Tommy and LW Ghost. The Genre Guys member-exclusive videos are some of the most beloved content on the channel. You've got to be a member to see it, but folks, I'm telling you, I recommend that you become a member to watch those videos. They're incredible, and I love watching each and every one of them. They're so good. You guys have such a deep knowledge and insight when it comes to the content. It is fantastic. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this video. It's not the typical thing we do, but we think it's meaningful and it's important that we hold ourselves accountable, and so we're attempting to do just that. Let us know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Should we adjust the format, or what should we do? And if you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Folks, that's it for today. Don't forget that the Pro Show is moving, or has moved already, now Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time, so listen in while you're at work. Folks, we hope you're having a great holiday season. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Wilton, you know you're not allowed in the kitchen. And, it smells like burning dog hair. What are you doing in here?
Well, I got a DM from Slade Wilson on how to roast Jonas. I mean, I didn't bother reading it, because I already have the perfect plan.
Wait a minute. So you're challenging Slade?
Well, not really. It's more like what Caffeine Kennedy and Kevin Feige do to Disney. A tag team of destruction. Plus, we're also making sure that everyone knows to subscribe to WDW Pro this Christmas.
Well, I appreciate you helping Pro, but doing one good thing does not make up for both of you doing a bad thing. Pro's making sure everyone gets accurate information and stays ahead of the culture curve, but, oh man, what is that smell? You're not really...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm literally roasting Jonas in the oven. I mean, it was kind of confused on where we were going with that line of questioning in the first place.
Roasting someone's a figure of speech. You don't actually cook them. Somebody! Oh my, hang on, Jonas! Well, I hope you're happy about what you've done this Christmas, Wilton. You almost ended Jonas.
On the brighter side, he looks great with that new tan. I guess you could say I gifted him a nice complexion.